WWE fans believe they've figured out Alexa Bliss's return plans, and in this video, I'm going to explain why they're wrong. Alexa Bliss will be returning to WWE television very soon, as she has consistently teased fans with updates. She has been sharing footage of her training inside the squared circle, which has naturally sparked excitement. Bliss is very active on social media, and her continuous updates have kept her in the forefront of fans' minds. Naturally, there's been a lot of speculation about how WWE will use her upon her return. On this channel, I've already discussed the pros and cons of two potential paths WWE could take with her, but it's important to revisit those points and understand where WWE might be going next. Firstly, it's crucial to understand Alexa Bliss's connection with her fanbase. She is someone WWE fans are heavily invested in, which is why speculation about her return has run rampant. The last time we saw her was in January of 2023. She was expected to return and be paired with Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, but things changed when she announced her pregnancy. As we all know, Wyatt tragically passed away, which left a huge question mark over Bliss's storyline. Fans, however, didn't stop speculating. With the formation of the Wyatt Six group, everyone thought Bliss would return and join the group. This belief was further fueled by Bliss herself, as she's been sharing training footage where she's executing her signature moves. Fans jumped to the conclusion that her return as a part of Wyatt Six was imminent. However, I'm here to tell you that this is not the case. Now, let's break down why fans' current theories don't hold up. Yes, Alexa Bliss has a special bond with her audience, and WWE is in an exciting era. With the product being incredibly hot right now, fans are eager to see how Bliss fits into this new WWE landscape, particularly under Triple H's booking leadership. We did get a glimpse of her under his direction, but it didn't quite reach the heights of her earlier runs. Despite this, she remains a top-level performer, and her return is highly anticipated. Earlier this week, Bliss took to social media, which only amplified the speculation. On Instagram, she shared an old photo of her character from when she was working with Bray Wyatt back in 2020 or 2021. The post, captioned "Miss Her," featured a black heart emoji, which led many fans to conclude that she was returning with that same supernatural character. However, this theory is flawed for several reasons. First and foremost, the image she posted is old, taken during a WWE calendar photo shoot. It was promotional material, and not an indicator of her upcoming plans. Fans jumped to conclusions, assuming that because she shared the image, it meant she was coming back with the same gimmick. Here's the problem with that logic: Alexa Bliss would not spoil her own return on social media. WWE stars are very careful about maintaining secrecy when it comes to major storylines, and Bliss would not jeopardize that. For instance, can you imagine CM Punk posting a picture of a Survivor Series set to tease his return? Of course not. WWE is highly protective of its surprises, and it's clear that this post was simply nostalgic, not a spoiler for her return plans. Furthermore, there have been no reliable reports about what WWE has planned for Alexa Bliss creatively. All we know for sure is that she's been training and is expected back soon, but the details are still under wraps. WWE has been incredibly tight-lipped, which is why it's safe to say that fans jumping to conclusions based on a single social media post are off the mark. Now, while I disagree with the theory that Bliss is returning as her supernatural character from the Bray Wyatt storyline, I do believe there are some exciting possibilities for her return. I've shared my own theory, and I think it lines up well with what WWE might be planning. When Bliss does return, I believe WWE will revert her back to one of her more successful gimmicks. Specifically, I see her going back to the persona she had during her time on NXT and early days on the main roster, where she was a dominant champion on both Raw and SmackDown. This version of Bliss found a lot of success, and I think it's the right move to bring her back as that character. especially since she's now a mother and has been away from television for a long time. It would make sense for WWE to bring her back as a babyface initially, given how much fans adore her. A babyface return would likely generate a positive reaction. Bliss is well liked by fans, not just for her in-ring abilities, but also because of her off-screen persona. She comes across as a genuine, kind person in interviews and on social media, which will only help her connect with the audience. However, while I expect her to return as a babyface, I don't think that will last long. WWE, and particularly Triple H, is smart enough to realize that Alexa Bliss is at her best when she's playing a heel. The heel version of Bliss, where she was conniving and manipulative, was one of the most compelling characters in WWE. While fans will cheer her upon her return, I believe WWE will eventually turn her back into a villain, which will open up many more interesting storyline possibilities. It's also important to note that, while fans are clamoring for her to go back to the Fiend character, it simply wouldn't work without Bray Wyatt. Wyatt's passing was tragic, and his character was integral to the success of that storyline. Bliss's supernatural persona was an extension of Wyatt's, and without him, it doesn't make sense to revisit that aspect of her character. Additionally, there are no reports indicating that WWE has any plans to revive the Wyatt Six group, and even if they did, Bliss wouldn't necessarily fit into that role without Wyatt there to anchor it. Instead, WWE would be wise to focus on what made Bliss successful in the first place, her ability to play a compelling heel while delivering in the ring. If they can strike that balance, I believe Alexa Bliss can once again become a top star in the women's division, potentially even reclaiming the women's championship down the line. In conclusion, while fans are excited about Alexa Bliss's return and are speculating wildly about her future, the truth is likely very different from what they expect. Bliss's return will be big, but it won't involve her old supernatural character. Instead, WWE is likely to revert her to the gimmick that made her a star, giving her a strong babyface push before transitioning her back into the heel role where she truly shines. Whatever happens, it's safe to say that Alexa Bliss will once again become a major player in WWE. At WrestleMania 37, Mercedes Mone, better known in the WWE as Sasha Banks, made history in the pro wrestling world by participating in a groundbreaking main event that had two African-American wrestlers as the main attraction for the first time. This pivotal moment, which Bianca Belair and I experienced together, went beyond sports entertainment to become a cultural landmark that had an impact well beyond the squared circle. During a recent episode of the Beyond the Fame podcast, Mone revealed the meaning of this momentous incident by removing the emotional layers around it. It was so emotional, because dreaming about main eventing a WrestleMania is almost undreamable, remarked Mone. You really can't think about it outside of your pillow. Since I was 10 years old, that has been one of my greatest dreams. However, it was so large that I didn't even believe it was feasible. But as Mone stood in the middle of the ring, the severity of the situation struck her, the magnitude of their accomplishment hitting her in real time. Her emotions threatened to overtake her as her personal victory blended with the wider cultural ramifications. And then there I was, standing in the center of the ring at WrestleMania 37 alongside Bianca Belair, thinking, wow, this is what we are doing, and it's so much greater than us. This transcends beyond wrestling. Mone recounted. I was like, girl, you better stop before I start bawling, because that moment was so special and the way she looked at me. To the main event, WrestleMania 37, was one of my biggest dreams come true. Mone, who is currently the AEW TBS champion, has maintained her rise to prominence in professional wrestling,